Welcome in to the Monday Morning Quarterback UK with your boys Ben, Dami, Kriski and Bids. I don't care how any of you are, so we're just jumping straight into it. I don't like any of you.
Wow. Is that how we're doing things? Okay.
No, that's fine. You've spoken.
You set the scene already. Let's go into it. I'm good. We're in a new place. I got my new spot. It's fine. Don't worry about that. It's fine. Don't worry.
Cool. Cool.
I guess.
So as always, like, subscribe, tell a friend to tell a friend. Like I said before, it doesn't mean so much for you guys. It means a lot for us. So if you could do that, really appreciate it. Bell's down there, bottom right. So just give that a tick for us. So getting into the episode straight away on this one, 2023 off-season roundup. We're going to be going through a few bits and pieces, key things that happen in the off-season in the lead up to pre-season. So a few key things like the draft, trades, and what we're expecting from pre-season. But we'll just jump straight into it.
Cool. So first things first, for some like me who don't fully understand the draft, Ben, let's go. Let's hear. Let's explain the ins and outs of the draft.
I'll give you like a 20-second roundup.
Ins and outs in 20 seconds. Let's go.
Basics.
Yeah.
Sorry,
we're in an elevator. We've got 6-7 floors to go. Tell us.
It's the pacey one.
Yeah.
All right, cool. So fundamentally, you can't just buy the best team in the NFL like you can in football. Biggest pockets win. That is not the case in American football. Players are moved into the league through drafting players from college. You can't just be like, I want that guy, I'm going to buy him. You have to trade or you have to draft a player in. As I said, teams can trade players, but there's a salary cap. So certain positions are higher value, for example, quarterback, skill positions like wide receiver, running back actually less so these days, but still, skill position players and key defensive players. Left tackle's really high value as well because it's covering the blind side, usually if you're a right-handed quarterback, which 90% of them are. So you can't just buy the team, they have to be brought through via standard methods like that. Salary cap this year is $224.8 million. So
where does that stand around previous years? It sort of keep consistent.
It's gone up about 20 million. It's about 10%.
Is that
it was like 208 million last year, so it's gone up 16 million.
Any reason why?
They up the cap, obviously a lot of inflation. They generally just up it with how the market's moving and how popular the sport is, etc. Like it's standard incremental moves. Okay.
So is it the league that decides the salary cap, but also this, which I didn't actually know at all, was the the position? So they decide. So even if you draft a running back at number 3-4, then they're actually only a certain amount they can actually earn because they're that position.
Yeah, so there's caps on how much players can earn when they're drafted. So drafted players first years in are not paid very much, and that's why you hear about players getting contracts post their draft period. So you might have a player who's normally you have like a 4th and 5th year option. So most players come into the draft and they have like a 3-year period through which they'll be playing on a rookie contract is what it's called. And then you'll get like a professional contract after 3 years. But there's also the 4th and 5th year option usually where it's like a team can decide to pick up your 4th and 5th year option, but that's much lower salary.
Okay.
So what will often happen there is if the player still wants to play for the team because they're not actually that good, the team can decide, I'll pick up your 4th year option because actually we'll keep you, but you're still on a low salary. But if the team's like, we want to take you on your 4th year option, the player's like, no thanks, I'll go out to the free agency market because I know I'll get loads of money. Think of it like a premium quarterback, like Patrick Mahomes when he got to his 3rd year. They paid him and they gave him some money. Whereas if they were like, no, actually we just want to pay you a 4th year option, which is fairly low value, he could have just left for another team and they'd have given him 30-40 million a year probably.
Okay.
So that's roughly how it works.
Wow.
Fairly quick summary.
And do you have to go through the draft to get into the NFL?
Yeah, basically, yes. Yes, you can be an undrafted free agent, but that's normally because you just weren't drafted. But I think there's been some players who weren't drafted who then came in as undrafted players a little bit later on, but it's really rare. It's normally you try and get drafted and either you get drafted or you don't get drafted and you get picked up. I can't remember who it was. I can't remember which running back was a car salesman for a while and then he was brought back in because he was undrafted. And they were like, we really need a running back, and actually that guy was the best option, but he was undrafted, and they brought him back.
Wow. You just called up the car shop and like, hey, he's still there.
I'll take that fresh Beamer.
He's there sorry, I can't get the annual leave.
Yeah, I'm going to need that, yeah.
There's also the NFL pathway for for players based in Europe.
Okay, how's that work?
That's a good point.
So I don't know 100% how it works, but I know that you sign up for the pathway or you get recruited into the pathway. and then you train in like an elite camp, and then you go over, and then if any of the scouts like you'll go and train with the teams in the training camp, and then you'll get either signed to the training squad, or you will get signed up to the actual squad. I don't know how many players have ever done that, but a lot of the time, like European-based players, so the players who are British, who haven't been raised in America, you will see them come through the NFL pathway.
Who was that rugby player we spoke about in a previous episode who tried
Christian Wade.
Yeah, exactly. So that would have been similar, like pathways type of deal, where he would try and get into the NFL, even though he's well past drafting age, but he might still be able to get in.
That's interesting. Is it just Europe that have it? Because I feel like OC and certain people are trying to reach out to like Africa and try and move from there.
I've only heard of it in Europe, but it would make sense to recruit in Africa and Asia, right? Because if you look at the NBA,
get your whole offensive line.
Honestly, I mean they're mostly Nigerian anyway.
It's true. It's true. Just go straight to the source.
Exactly, man. Cut the middleman.
Literally.
Okay.
So I actually didn't watch the draft. So what was I've seen bits of it since, but who was actually kind of the main picks in this year?
Yes, we've got a few higher profile picks. I'm not going to go through the whole draft. You can just look that up online. I'm not doing that. It's a long night, and watching the draft is painfully long. I don't disrespect anyone who watches it, because that's commitment, but I don't have the patience to sit there and wait and go, this guy picks, this team picks this guy. It's just a lot. But I watched some of the build-up. So a few high profile picks. So first few picks were pretty much as expected. Bryce Young going to Carolina. They traded with Chicago, who gave up quite a lot for that pick. So DJ Moore, who's a wide receiver from the Panthers. First and second rounders for 2023, 2024 first rounder, and 2025 second rounder. That's a lot to give up for a first round pick. But Chicago had him. They knew that they wanted him, so Chicago could ask for what they wanted. There's a lot of comments saying that he's quite short at 5'10".
Sure.
That's too high.
You can't seal the offensive line.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah.
He's 5'10", 5'9", I think.
Carolina like him because Carolina could be the best location for him. Of the teams that were going to pick him up, Carolina's probably the best option because of the weather. So he's played Alabama football, and that's hot, and he's not used to cold weather. If he'd gone to Chicago, it would have been a nightmare. I can't see a scenario where that actually works for him. He's not used to playing cold weather teams. He's not used to playing up there. He'd have been absolutely ruined. Playing in the summer southern teams, like in a southern division, he should be okay.
Fair enough.
Surely he's still going to have to do the away games. And he's going to have to occasionally go to Minnesota.
Yeah, but occasionally is the point.
Yeah, but you're still going to have to play.
But not that often, right? And if you're looking at the way the Super Bowl works and the way the playoffs often work, the chances of you going north are just not that much. Like, it will happen in the playoffs, maybe in like the second round or something, but the Super Bowl is always southern. Like, they rarely play it in northern stadiums, and if they do play in northern stadiums, they're in domes anyway, like the Viking Stadium. Like, they're always playing indoors. No Super Bowl is ever getting played at the Bills Stadium, which is just open.
Yeah.
Like, it's just not happening. Because they want it to be a spectator sport, people to come down, like people to tailgate, like everything.
You don't want it snowing.
It's in February.
Yes, no chance.
No way. So they always make it southern, or they make it in a dome-based stadium. So it makes sense. So he may well acclimatise if he went to another. I'm not saying he couldn't have done, but those were some of the comments being made around him. It's quite short and
tip for those youngsters, just go to a hot state and play there. Like, you never have to play in cold.
Or be longer.
Be longer.
Wow.
Just be bigger. There's a couple other ones. CJ Stroud, Will Anderson, and Anthony Richardson, all fairly expected there. Houston, who traded with Arizona to get the third pick for Anthony Richardson. No major surprises there.
Just talk quickly through like the trades that people sort of make in order to
because there's quite a few on the night as well, which is
So during the draft, what you'll find is that you'll go onto the clock, which is 10 minutes, I think.
Draft day. Good film.
If
you're not sure about the draft day, the NFL draft, watch draft day. Not a lick of NFL is played. No games are actually played. One of the greatest NFL movies ever made.
Kevin Costner.
Yes,
brilliant.
Yeah, it's good. Yeah, you made us watch that. It was good, actually. Yeah, it was good. So you get 10 minutes, And what you might find is the player picked before you might not have been what you expected. And that can change what you then do. Or you also might be playing a longer game. So, like in draft day, he was playing a longer game, sort of. He was playing a longer game where he traded various picks and players throughout the draft to essentially get himself into a stronger position. That's also possible, but generally what you'll see is you'll see teams like Carolina trade players and future picks for a higher draft pick. You'll trade, like, I don't know, a good example of this was, they traded DJ Moore, first and second rounders, more first and second rounders, just to get the first overall pick. It's a lot to give up. But you can just do whatever trades. You can bring other teams into it, so you're trading various picks around. You see that a lot in basketball, where you'll trade players around the league in order to get exactly what everyone wants. But that's generally what happens. There's usually quite a few trades every year, actually. Yeah. People trading up positions. But it makes sense, right? If there's a player that they like, that they've scouted, they're like, I want him.
He's still available. Trade up.
Just sacrifice the next couple of years. And he has to. It's like go big or bust.
But think about the Rams. Rams sacrificed all those picks, but they won the Super Bowl.
Now
they're terrible. They're probably going to be bad again this year. But they've won the Super Bowl, so they're good.
Yeah,
it's true.
So imagine they hadn't.
Yeah, that was rough.
Horrendous.
I mean, the 49ers basically kind of did that. And
sort of, but they'll be good for a little while. But
So I guess did there any particular teams come out as kind of big winners in the draft, or?
Couple of big winners, I would say. Main two winners, I would say, were Philadelphia and the Steelers. Philadelphia strengthened their position, continuing to draft Georgia players. I don't know if you guys know this, or anyone's really noticed this, but
I have.
Philadelphia only draft Georgia players.
Mate.
But like a lot of them. So there's obviously a fair amount of Georgia players that come out in each draft because they're the best team in college. There aren't that many. And the fact that they keep drafting so many is clearly a deliberate strategy, and particularly on the defensive side of the ball. Because clearly Georgia plays a brand of defensive football. Obviously, they're the best defensive team in CFB. Right. But clearly they're like, if we get a core group of Georgia players, they've all played together, they know the system, and Philadelphia must be playing Georgia's defensive system, or at least close enough to it, otherwise this would be crazy. So as I say, they strengthen their position, they continue to draft Georgia players. Just some examples: Jalen Carter at 9, Nolan Smith at 30, Keely Ringo at 105th, and in the last 2 seasons they've taken 5 Georgia defensive players now, just in 2 years, which is no one's really close to that.
I mean, it's clearly working though, because Philly had one of the best defense last year.
Yeah, it's a good strategy. So, and you might see some other teams doing something similar with other good defensive teams. Because yes, Georgia players will be very, very good defensively, but they may not turn into the exceptional players in the NFL. Yeah. So they likely probably will, but 9th, 30th, 105th, like 105th draft pick, like no one's thinking that guy's going to be amazing. But you're hiring his draft potential or value because you've got other players that have played with him. So,
and like you say, if they can fit into a system, it's quite seamless then.
Seems smart.
Makes sense. Big up the Bulldogs.
Philadelphia playing both a short and long game somehow.
Okay, and the Steelers?
And the Steelers, so a few key picks for them. Steelers had a good draft. So Broderick Jones, who's an offensive tackle from Georgia, so a lot of Georgia players, took him at 14. Looks like pretty good value. And defensive tackle Keanu Benton looks like a decent interior lineman. They also picked up Darnell Washington, tight end, also from Georgia, but they're not picking up defensive players, but could work well alongside Pat Freiermuth, who's their number 1 tight end in Pittsburgh right now. Couple other players to mention: Joey Porter Jr. is quarterback from Penn State. He's actually the son of an ex-Steelers linebacker, Joey Porter, who was an ex-Steelers player, Joey Porter.
Okay.
So that might be a father-son move.
Yeah. Okay.
Legacy player.
Alumni. Who am I?
Alumni.
You got it.
Yeah, I got it.
Yeah. Wow. Same thing.
Yeah. And they took Wisconsin linebacker Nate Herbig in the 4th round. All looking pretty decent, and I think Steelers have probably got a decent chance to compete for the playoffs next year. So we'll chat about that in another episode, though.
Nice.
And go on, let's go for the losers then.
What do you reckon, Dami?
So the losers, the 49ers, as we just spoke about, they didn't have many picks, so they did very little in the draft this year.
Yeah.
They did have 3 third-round picks, but they used 1 on the kicker.
Interesting.
So, if I'm right, they got rid of Robbie Gould, right? He was there I think Robbie Gould. Was their kicker. They got rid of him, so they are definitely one of the losers. The Washington Commanders.
Hold on, just on the kickers.
Yeah.
So what round the kickers usually go at?
Oh, I don't know.
7th.
7 or
an average,
undrafted,
but there'll be
7.
late picks.
Yeah.
Who never.
And he's gone in the 3rd.
Yeah.
So third pick in round 3.
No. He's just in the 3rd round.
Yeah, just in the 3rd round. I don't know which pick they had in the 3rd
He's not
round.
kicking from 60 yards.
Yeah. Like I said, I could kick from 55. So.
I promise you can't. I promise you.
Wow.
But the 49ers have got another kicker still on the payroll.
Okay.
We'll talk about that later,
talk
but
about
they've got another kicker on the payroll, which is not something you normally do.
Yeah, the Washington Commanders, they didn't pick up a tight end, which was a skill position that they needed coming into this year with Sam Howell looking like their quarterback, and there's not much on Sam Howell, so for him, he needs weapons to help him out, and if they don't really have a outstanding tight end, I know they got the wide receivers.
They've got Scary Terry, man. They've got Scary Terry. Scary McLaurin.
Yeah.
But I guess on that, is that people saying that they need a tight end, or have Commanders come out and gone, oh yeah, we need a tight end, and then have they just not found someone in that draft, or did someone get taken? Like, is that just people just saying, oh yeah, the Commanders need a tight end, but people in the coaching staff are going, yeah, we don't really need anyone?
I think it's people outside of the organisation saying that they need a tight end, but I think every team needs a good tight end.
Yeah. It's very
the positions
rare.
changed. We spoke about it in a previous episode. The positions completely changed.
It's a pass catching position now.
Yeah, it's very rare that a team will come out and say, I need this position in the draft, because you weaken your position then. Like we said with trades, you weaken your position by letting everyone know what you need. For most teams, it's fairly obvious what they need. And the only thing I would say is they have Logan Thomas, but generally you want a couple of strong tight ends, which is what I was saying about Pittsburgh just before. They've got Logan Thomas, who's fine, and then they've got 3 other tight ends who I don't think they're overly... Well, people didn't think they were overly confident in, but they didn't pick up a tight end, so clearly they're happy with what they've got.
Yeah, or I guess there's just no point picking a tight end out the draft just because you think, oh yeah, we need a tight end. If he's not any good, you're not going to pick. Because did many tight ends even go high in the draft this year?
Yeah, there was one in the first round.
Oh really?
Yeah, Kincaid? Was it Kincaid?
Yeah, did the Bills pick him up? I think it was the Bills who picked him up.
I don't remember who it was. Was it Kincaid?
It was either the Bills or the Cowboys. I can't remember. But yeah, he went quite high.
Yeah, it was the Bills. He was 25th. Yeah, it was Dalton Kincaid. He was
definitely the highest tight end.
He was 25th. Yeah, I think I predicted in one of the previous episodes that there were other tight ends that were going to go higher, and a lot of them really dropped.
Oh, really?
He's the only one who went in the first round.
Yeah, and the thing is, the Bills are going to be very good this year at tight end, because if they've kept Dawson Knox and they've got Kincaid, those are 2 really good tight ends.
This is what I'm saying. Like two tight end sets are really common in the NFL. So having 2 tight ends who can play together, complementary, that's quite common now.
They play them together.
Yeah. You play 2 tight end sets. I mean, certain teams play like 3 tight end sets.
Yeah, I literally was just watching that quarterback on Netflix, and there was the Chiefs playing 3 at once.
Yeah, Chiefs do a lot of 3 tight end sets.
Wow.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Yeah. So and lastly, the New York Jets. They didn't really need to draft anything in particular, because they have a great defense. They just got a new quarterback in Aaron Rodgers, and they've also recruited Alan Lazard, and didn't they get Randall Cobb as well?
They got Randall Cobb and Garrett Wilson already.
Yeah, so they're doing fine. So really,
no one wants
I'm not
Randall
really
Cobb.
sure if they're losers.
No one wants, but no one
Aaron
wants
Rodgers did.
Yeah, but that's what I mean. No one wants Randall Cobb except for Aaron Rodgers. No one wants to pick him up. No one wants to pay him any money.
He's not even fit, is he?
No, he literally isn't. He just have him in the building. That's all he wants.
Don't worry about that, man.
So the only reason I think they may have been losers is because they just didn't really do much to really help him. They just didn't really do a lot. So it's like, I guess the only argument is you're paying him a lot of money. You've already got wide receivers who you think he works with. You've got Garrett Wilson, who's an absolute stud at wide receiver, who they think is going to be, top 5, 10 this year. So it's like, I guess they don't really need a lot, but still, if you don't really do much, you're just relying on now Aaron Rodgers to do everything for you.
Yeah, but bear in mind they had a 7-10 record, and they had the worst quarterback play in the league. So they just need competent quarterback play.
Yeah,
and they'll be at least 500.
Yeah,
500 record.
Yeah, so one other thing I'm going to note there actually is that So it was a well-noted thing that Green Bay, when Aaron Rodgers was there, didn't draft many offensive weapons for him.
Yeah.
They picked up like Christian Watson. It was like the only person they picked up, and they had a couple other like complementary pieces, but they had one of the worst wide receiver cores going. Like apart from Devontae Adams, who was obviously exceptional, but as soon as he left, it was bare bones. Green Bay decided this year they were going to pick up 3 receivers and 2 tight ends.
Wow.
Just unbelievable. Just slap in the face. Like,
that is...
Screw you.
I rate
Jordan Love's getting everything.
Yeah, man. Jordan Love needs help.
Yeah. But I guess
help,
this is the point, right? You balance up the money you have with what you're going to go and get.
Yeah.
So... clearly they're like, we're not paying Jordan Love much, we got money to play with and he needs weapons, so let's bring in some free agents and let's go and draft some offensive weapons because we couldn't get anyone we really liked through trades. One other thing I'll mention is also another thing that was weird. Aaron Rodgers showed up to OTAs. So if you're not sure what OTAs are, organised team activities, there's basically just like workouts and stuff prior to the season starting. They're just referred to as OTAs. He showed up, hasn't shown up for a few years for Green Bay.
Why would he not show up?
Well, because he doesn't really want to. Because it means he has to go and work out more, and it's kind of a level of respect. I think you get money for showing up as well. If you show up to OTAs, I think for the Jets this year, I think you got like $60,000 just for showing up.
Yeah, but that's nothing to him.
Which is nothing.
Yeah, but no, I'm not. The money is
$50 million
not the
this
point.
year.
Wow.
Surely you want to be at the pre-season, no?
So this was the big thing about him turning up to the Jets, was they were like, is he going to show up to OTAs? Because if he does, it shows a level of commitment and that he needs to get some level of some relationship going with his wide receivers and with his offensive weapons, because that's how you get things going. That's how you build relationships. That's how you figure stuff out. He never really did that with Green Bay, with these new wide receivers coming in, so it's just like, we'll figure it out.
So was he checked out like years before?
Yeah,
things were toxic at Green Bay.
Yeah, he just didn't show up. Like, he showed up to pre-season, and he showed up to workouts pre-season, but didn't show up to OTAs, which is optional. OTAs are optional, to be fair. Like, but it's like a commitment piece. It's
it's like a test.
Show up.
Yeah.
I mean,
It's like going to the rookies. Yeah, they're optional.
Rookies,
Not for you.
it's not optional for rookies.
so that training course at work, optional, mate.
Yeah, so thought that was worth mentioning as well.
All right, and we're going to get into some trades now. So what are the biggest trades of the 2023 off-season? Yeah,
so like we said, quite common is trading players for picks, but additionally just trading players in general for other players happens quite a lot, but we'll go through a few of the bigger trades. So obviously we mentioned Aaron Rodgers already to Green Bay, huge money deal, $151 million over 3 years, first round pick swap, 42nd, 207th this year, and most likely a first rounder in 2024. So expensive for a guy who's going to be 40 this year.
Sounds like a bit.
He's going to be 40.
He's going to be 40 this year.
He's an old man.
Yeah, he's not a young fella anymore.
How long has he been in the league for?
Like 20 years.
Jesus.
I think Tom was 45. So
Tom was 45.
Yeah, he doesn't count though, does he? That's alien.
Yeah, that guy's a freak.
Yeah, he doesn't really count.
doesn't count,
Yeah.
You don't just bring up the expectancy of players just because of Tom Brady. You can't do that.
Yeah.
That's like comparing people to LeBron James.
Yeah,
that's a valid
you
point.
can't do that.
That's a very valid point.
Yeah, you
every quarterback's going to get drafted and be like, yeah, I'm going to play till 45.
No, not every.
You might play 2 seasons.
Yeah, like surely.
Maybe.
RG3.
Yeah.
He got like 40 days. He played like 2 years, but yeah. So another one mentioned earlier, Panthers traded with the Bears to get Bryce Young first in the draft. Looks like the Bears could be the winner in this trade, depending on how well Bryce adapts to the NFL. I'm a little bit uncertain. But the Bears got a lot of draft capital and very talented wide receiver in DJ Moore. You mentioned you like him. I think he's good.
I like him.
Yeah, I think he's really good as well. I think he's probably more than a 2 than a 1 as a wide receiver. Like, as in, so when I say that, I mean, so like, in terms of depth chart, you'd have your number 1 main wide receiver, and then you have your number 2 and number 3. Like, that's generally how it works. I would say he's probably more of a 2 than a 1, but he's still very good.
Yeah.
How do those 1 and 2s work though? Is that where do you base that on your quarterback's sort of skill set? In that, if your 1 is going to be where he can throw best, or
no, that's not where they sit on the field. That's not where they're going to. It's just the levels.
It's like the pecking order.
It's pecking order. Yeah.
It's just like you're going to be on the field the most.
Yeah. So, like, theoretically, like, if there was only 1 wide receiver position, who would you play?
Okay.
Yeah, it would be them.
And then,
But I say I like DJ Moore. I think he's good.
DJ Moore's cool.
Yeah, I think he's good. And the Bears have really struggled to find offensive talent for a long time.
Yeah, it's kind of a big year for Justin Nolan.
I mean, didn't they bring in Chase Claypool in the middle of the season? And he's not bad.
He's fine.
Yeah, he's fine.
He's fine.
He's
DJ Moore's
probably
fine.
a 2.
Yeah,
he's probably a 2
I
as
think
well.
Claypool's more of a decent
That's
3.
really
But
brutal fine.
Yeah, he's fine.
he's fine. But like you need a solid 1.
Yeah.
But I think Darnell Mooney's good. They've got a lot of like strong, decent 2s now and like upper 3s. So they've got a decent wide receiver core, I would say.
What would you rate us? I want to know who would be our 1, 2, and 3 now.
Yeah, you don't
What, as the receivers?
Yeah, who would you be ranking as 1, 2, 3 now? You're talking a lot.
He can't run.
Yeah,
So,
or
yeah,
catch.
Yeah,
You can't catch a basketball.
He's got the wettest knees in the game.
Yeah.
He's not catching anything.
We played a
So your knees don't work either.
Yeah, don't worry about that. We played a 2-on-2 basketball game.
Moving on.
Me and Dami against Ben and Kriski, and it was embarrassing. It was basically 2-on-1, and Ben died after about 20 minutes.
There, like,
You think I need fitness to beat you? I don't.
He was just propped up by the hoop when he just said, "Oh yeah."
We almost called the ambulance, man. You look like you had a stroke.
I was fine. I was just getting some air. I needed
We were outside.
I needed some air from a different part of the court. Mind your business, man.
After 3 minutes.
Relax.
Yeah, and the point is, Dami couldn't catch a basketball.
You literally can't. It went through your hands.
I've
like
never
3
seen anyone
times.
have no handles like that.
We still won though, Ben, didn't we?
Yeah,
That's
I have no idea what
It
you
wasn't
guys
even
are
2-on-1. It was
remembering.
basically 1-on-1. It was me against you. I just had that hook shot, the hook shot and a fadeaway.
We definitely need a rematch. But yeah.
We were all quite bad.
Yeah.
Differing levels of bad, but all quite bad. I don't think it's a good idea for us to rank who would be good wide receivers.
Yeah.
I think you'd be the best, and then we all suck.
What do you mean?
Thank you.
You can't move. Your
I
knees
can
don't
move.
work.
They work now.
Just watch you jockey for position against no one and
It's the
snap your
word.
knee.
I'm not going to have to do that.
Imagine him having to run a route and then he tries to go.
Yeah, and then his whole leg his knee just
Look, a lot of
Knee
people
goes
tear
that
the
way,
ACL.
body
We'll
goes-
get into it. A lot of people tear the ACL. It's not just me. All us talented athletes is.
The one thing I will say
Wait
is
a minute.
most of them tear their ACL while they're playing American football, hitting other people.
No, they don't.
You
Incorrect.
were standing completely still.
Incorrect. The most common ACL injuries are non-contact. So check.
Were they standing completely still?
Don't worry. I wasn't standing still.
We'll get into injuries later.
As you can tell, it's quite a personal topic for Bids.
He doesn't like it at all.
I don't know what you're talking about.
2 other big trades just to finish it up. Brandon Cooks moves to Dallas. Gives Dallas a pretty good wide receiving core. CD Lamb, Cooks, Michael Gallup. Looks like a decent trade for Dallas, I'd say. They gave up a 174th pick this year and a 6th rounder next year. So fairly low draft picks, I forgot to mention. And Jalen Ramsey to Miami from the Rams. Looks like a good trade for Miami. Didn't really have to give up much.
That's surprising. Why did they not have to give up much?
So
Was it coming to the end of his contract?
I think he was towards the end of his contract. Also, hasn't got the best coverage stats.
Do you know what? Okay, I'm thinking this, right? So, when I first started watching NFL properly, maybe 3-4 years ago, Jalen Ramsey was ranked as the number 1 cornerback in the league.
Yeah.
Every time I watched him play for the Rams, he got cooked.
Yeah.
Every time. I was watching it going, am I watching something wrong here? Like, is he doing it on purpose? Because he always gets cooked.
He's giving him the rope-a-dope.
Yeah.
He's like, get some touchdowns. We'll see what happens later.
But surely the corner's like the second hardest position to play.
Oh,
It's tough.
Yeah, I completely get
because
that.
it seems impossible.
His value doesn't come from being a lockdown corner. His value comes from causing turnovers and being strong against the run.
Oh, okay.
So he causes a lot of turnovers, and also he's our big hitter as a cornerback. So he cuts back inside and hits the run. So that's why people liked him. And he wasn't a bad coverage, but his stats aren't great.
Oh, really?
Yeah, he's not an exceptional cover corner. Like he's not that guy. He's not like Ahmad Gardner who's just covering everything like sauce.
Yeah,
he's clearly a Heat player because he's moving from LA to Miami. So he's
a Heat boy. Yeah,
plays in the sun.
Yeah, for sure.
Any other noteworthy trades? Anything else happening?
Talk about my Giants. Go on then.
No one wants to chat about the Giants,
Talk
man.
about my Giants, man.
Alright, cool. So the Giants picked up tight end Darren Waller. He's a baller.
Baller.
He's a baller tight end, except he constantly gets injured. So classic Giants move.
Don't worry about that, man.
So Giants pick up someone who's meant to be good, but probably will get injured day one.
Don't worry about that, man.
Elijah Moore from the Jets to the Browns. Stephon Gilmore, who's a former Defensive Player of the Year, but he's 33 in September. Pretty expensive. 2 years, $20 million for a cornerback. Pretty expensive. He's going to Dallas, but Dallas clearly trying to go for it now. So they're trying to battle with Philadelphia for this. They're just selling the whole thing to go for it. DeAndre Swift to the Eagles from Detroit. So again, Eagles loading up on more ex-Georgia players because DeAndre Swift was ex-Georgia, but this time on the offensive side. Shaq Mason from Tampa Bay to Texas. And the one I mentioned before, which was kickers. So Zane Gonzalez, who's the Carolina kicker, was traded to San Francisco. So they've got 2 kickers right now after they drafted Moody in the 3rd round. See how that plays out, but you ain't keeping 2 kickers on the payroll for long. So one of them's going somewhere else.
Rock, paper, scissors, or
well, what will probably happen?
Contest.
I mean, probably.
Man, 4-yard dash. Weight training. Hit the gym.
Bench.
they just didn't give it to McCaffrey.
Literally.
He do everything else.
He does literally everything else, yeah. So they'll probably get rid of one of them soon. Probably in pre-season. So yeah. Speaking of pre-season, what we got to say, Bids? Injuries?
First of injuries. I am the most injury-prone person in the world. It's
just give us a little bit of history on your injury.
Let's see how you describe it, because I describe it as you stood still and lost your whole knee.
No, I just give us a little lowdown on everything you've done.
No, we don't need to go that far. We ain't got time. My recent injury, the ACL injury, again, it was a non-contact. I was moving kind of slightly, like playing football, just jockeying. I was jockeying, but I was moving. Like I was moving. I wasn't standing still. And then just like first game back, grass was all long, crap pitch, studs got stuck in, knee just popped. That's a wrap.
And the thing is, that's not even his most recent injury.
You didn't tear your hamstring or something recently?
Yeah, no, I forgot about that. But that was I guarantee that was my first time sprinting full speed in about 3 years. And long story, but didn't warm up properly. And within about, a minute of that game, popped my hamstring. Destroyed. Never had a bruise like it, but
nice.
Jeez.
Nice.
Yeah.
So we're heading into pre-season now.
Yeah.
What's the injury situation? What do we got?
Okay, so we're going to go for some of the big name players who were injured last year, who are sort of fighting to get fit for week 1.
Cool.
Oh, yeah.
Sure.
First I'm going to mention Breece Hall, running back for the Jets.
Yeah.
He is a freak of nature in terms of his recovery from injury. He tore his ACL 6 months ago, and he's potentially going to be fit for week 1.
Surely.
He was clocked at running 22 miles an hour recently in training, in pre-season training.
Yeah, that's crazy.
After 6 months is insane to me.
That's insane.
After 6 months, I wasn't even jogging.
Yeah, that's wild.
Yeah, they must have different technology.
Because the recovery is getting quicker and quicker as technology goes on. But 6 months is insane.
Yeah.
He's just working
To be back playing at the highest level.
He's pushing the limit on it every day.
I doubt he'll be back for like week 1. It might sort of like ease him back into it, but it's huge.
That's impressive.
See if he gets reps in pre-season.
Yeah, and obviously he'll be important for Aaron Rodgers, who's just moved to the Jets as well.
Yeah.
Next up, your man BCB, Brock Purdy, 49ers quarterback. He got that UCL elbow injury in the
championship
NFC championship game. Rough. It was a long season for the 49ers. He sort of dragged them through it. And again, just a third quarterback down. It's peak. It's unfortunate.
Yeah.
Jeez. Nothing you can do.
He's fighting his way back. Kyler Murray, another ACL, tore his ACL quite early in the season, didn't he?
Yeah, I think so, yeah.
He's likely to be ready for week 1. I'll just sort of tear through the next couple. Javonte Williams, Broncos running back, is questionable, but likely to be back. Matt Stafford is huge for the Rams.
That is huge.
Yeah, still going to suck, but
as well as Cooper Cup.
Yeah, two of them being back.
Cooper Cup's wide receiver for the Rams as well.
Yeah,
questionable, potentially back. Carl Pitts, Falcons tight end. Odell Beckham Jr. for the Ravens wide receiver, still going.
Guys hanging around.
Still going.
Wow. Do you know what?
Living off that one catch.
Love to see it, man.
Lamar Jackson needs him this season, though.
Yeah, he does.
He needs him this season for sure.
He needs another option.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Actually, one thing about Matt Stafford? If we don't see Matt Stafford in week 1, we might get some Stetson.
Stetson. He's number 2.
Well, he's number 2 on the depth. Well, technically, he's number 3 on the depth chart.
Behind who?
Brett Rippin.
That's how much. That is how much they rate your boy Stetson.
No, but you don't know. In the preseason, he might go up to number 2 in the depth chart.
I don't even know that man.
Never heard that name in my life, but no, I thought about that when I saw him get picked up. I was like, my boy Stetson.
Yeah. You might see Stetson in week 1.
Mate, and then that's one person small. He'll make it, guarantee it.
Small.
Stetson is, yeah.
How tall is he?
I think he's smaller than Bryce, isn't he?
Is he?
Surely not.
Surely not. I don't know.
I'm
gonna Google his height.
Yeah.
Interested. Who else you got? We've got CeeDee Lamb, Cowboys wide receiver.
Yeah, they
reportedly okay and ready for week 1.
Yeah.
Isaiah Pacheco, Chiefs running back.
Huge. He was huge.
And Von Miller, veteran Bills linebacker. Expected to be fit for week 1 again. That was another ACL injury. That's 3 off that list. But I think he's sort of easing his way back in. The age, the recovery is a big injury. And I'll go to you, Kriski. Guess how many ACL injuries there were in the 22-23 season?
Across all the teams?
Yeah, all teams, pre and post-season combined.
I'm going to go for...
Don't say something crazy and just
I was going to go for like 60, 70-ish.
Alright, well, you made it sound worse now because it's 51.
Still a lot.
51 ACLs.
So many.
In a single season.
That's a whole roster. That's a whole
crazy.
team. It's a 53-man roster.
Wow.
That's crazy. A whole team.
I'll go into...
That's a lot of knees.
I've been doing some research on ACL, so I'll go into that in a separate episode because there's a lot goes into it. Even going back to college, there's some serious data and serious research being done into college fields, particularly synthetic fields against grass fields.
Yeah.
And the difference in injuries on synthetic fields compared to grass is crazy.
They're so popular, aren't they?
It's crazy
because they're all weather. Right?
No, well, you think that, but it's popular because of the maintenance and how the athletic budgets are just being slashed. They need to save money, so they just get going for the cheaper option.
But it's actually not beneficial.
It's not beneficial to anyone's knees or anyone's body in general. And it's a contact sport. It's sort of heavy hitting. You got to be quick on your feet. You're hard on your.
You're turning so quickly. You get helmets and bodies.
Yes,
lying on your.
I think
twisted. It's horrible.
The percentage of injuries on synthetic field compared to like. Grass is like 88 to 12 or something like that at college level.
Wow.
It's insane.
Wow. That's wild. That could depend on a bunch of factors, but we'll dig into that in another episode. That sounds interesting.
I'll be keen to jump into that.
Yeah.
So a lot of ACLs. And just moving on to some players that are currently injured and will miss the whole season or at least part of the season. My first one I'll just touch on. Again, sorry, another ACL. Andrew Voorhees, he was an offensive liner for USC. He tore his ACL in the combine doing drills, which is peak.
Yeah, that's
and it also begs the question of whether offensive linemen should actually be doing all these drills, whether it's necessary for their position. Again, get into it in a different episode. But he tore his ACL in the combine. Next day, rocked up, benched 225 for how many reps?
Well, like 15, 20?
25.
You know what it is. So
25.
38 reps of 225 pounds. And for those in the UK, that's 102 kg. So the average man can't bench 122 kg for one.
That's busted.
Yeah, that's busted.
38, just bang, bang, bang with one leg in the air. And probably in pain, and definitely...
Yeah, because you got to drive.
What?
Mate, these guys are like superhuman, man. What?
My bad.
All right, Charles Barkley.
Yeah. But he was still picked up by the Ravens in the draft, round 7, pick 12. He dropped down from I think it was predicted around 2nd to the 4th round. I mean, it's quite a big range, but he dropped down.
Ravens just wanted to run his gym program. Like, God.
Yeah. Again, another ACL. Hendon Hooker tore his ACL while still at Tennessee.
Yeah. Tennessee volunteers.
He volunteers. Ended up going in the 3rd round, predicted in 2nd. So it's interesting that the quarterback sort of kept his prediction more than the defensive lineman.
Yeah. Well, I don't. Sorry, correct me if I'm wrong, but no, if you're drafting an offensive lineman, it's with the attitude, especially within maybe the first 5 rounds, it's because you're expecting for him to play straight away. Whereas with a quarterback, if you're taking a quarterback, where did they take Hendon Hooker?
He was 3rd round, 5th pick.
So depending on the team's depth chart, but if you're taking a quarterback in the 3rd round, you're not necessarily expecting them to play week 1.
No.
They will so the Colts, they took Hendon Hooker in the 3rd round.
Mm-hmm.
They weren't probably expecting him to play.
No.
So they're fine. They're fine with taking him.
Well, no, they took Richardson.
They
took Richardson 3rd overall. So
yeah, but so they're fine with taking him because they know he's not going to play. He wasn't going to play anyway.
Yeah.
So
yeah, the general rule is if you're picking up someone in the first 2 rounds, they're probably a starter.
Yeah.
Unless you're a quarterback, but even then, some of them are starting. So
okay.
Yeah.
So they all tore their ACL either combine or
leading to the draft.
during their last college season. However, there's already been 3 current players who've torn their ACL in the preseason. Avery Williams, Falcons punt returner, Daniel Scott, Colts safety, and Chuck Clark, Jet safety. And it's just that's 3, and preseason's barely even begun.
Preseason's not even started.
It's not even started. So
that's their season over then.
So I don't know what's the prediction for the amount this year. It varies. The most I think ever has been 71.
Jeez.
71.
It's not going to be as many as that.
And in one season, the Jets had 6 ACL tears. Women like Arsenal women's.
Wow.
Don't get me started on Arsenal.
Again for another episode. But
that's a joke.
Women's football and basketball are the highest possibility of tearing your ACL.
Damn.
Significantly more than men's sports.
Yeah, damn. We need to look.
There are plenty of suspected reasons, but again, we'll look into another episode.
Yeah, we'll dig into that.
Yeah.
What's some other key ones, Biz?
Other key ones. Zach Ertz, time for the Cardinals, questionable for week 1. Dre Greenlaw, 49's linebacker, is going to miss some time due to a thumb surgery. Jimmy Garoppolo. Raiders traded him in this season as a quarterback. It's funny. He broke his foot.
Yeah.
Broke his foot last season, and he's got a clause in his contract where if he doesn't pass his physical, first time or whatever, if he doesn't pass his physical, they can just release him with just release him like that.
That's crazy.
With nothing. Just release
he's
him.
not passed his physical.
If he doesn't,
but he hasn't got his physical yet.
I'm not sure when it is, but without any penalty, they can release him.
But why would you? Sorry, I'm obviously thinking from a football perspective where you got to pass your medical before you can sign for a team. Why would you trade for a player who hasn't passed his physical? But I guess a lot of players tend to be injured and then they get traded. So
also,
makes sense.
You should pass your physical.
Yeah.
Like you're about to be you're a professional player.
Yeah.
Like that should not have been a concern for them. But obviously, because he injured himself, they wanted to make sure that he was going to be fit.
Yeah.
And obviously, he was like, "Yeah, I'll be fit."
But is that clause typically in contracts though? Because it seems like one that's being sort of spoken about. Like this is strange.
I don't know.
Or maybe it's just not high
Maybe it's
profile.
just
because he's a high profile.
Yeah, high profile QB move.
It's probably high profile because people don't think he's going to pass it.
Yeah.
Well, there's a good chance he won't because he's in Vegas and having a good time.
Who's number 2 then? Who's gonna actually be a quarterback?
Is Jared Stidham
It's
still
Jared
there?
Stidham, isn't it?
Yeah,
I think it's Jared Stidham.
Jared Stidham's still
I know these men.
Vegas. He's a former Patriot. I mean, like Las Vegas are turning themselves into a bit of like a former Patriots team. So
obviously, right.
Yeah, I mean, when Josh McDaniels went over there to be head coach, he took like basically all the offensive staff from the Patriots.
Okay.
That's why last year the Patriots had like a former defensive coordinator as their offensive coordinator,
and that went well.
It's fair enough.
Yeah. So
Okay.
Brian Hoyer.
Former Patriot.
Brian Hoyer, and then some other guys.
Yeah, I know that, man. Just to go through the last couple. You got Tyree Wilson, Raiders defensive end. He was drafted 7th overall this year. But he's questionable. He's got a foot injury. Tyreek Hill, Dolphins wide receiver.
That could be big.
Yeah.
Questionable for week 1, but will make a big impact once he's back.
Yeah, probably.
Jalen Ramsey, we mentioned from earlier from the Rams.
Yeah.
Cornerback. He's got a shoulder injury, which is questionable.
Yeah.
Juju Smith-Schuster, wide receiver for the Chiefs.
They don't need him.
He's at the Patriots now.
Is that the Patriots?
Oh, is he?
Yeah, he's at the
Yeah,
Patriots now. Yeah.
Oh, he moved to the Patriots, didn't he?
CJ Uzomah, Jets tight end, but he's out for the season.
Oh,
I can't remember what the injury was now.
That's brutal.
Yeah, out for the
He's
season. Done. And Tim Patrick,
Same.
Broncos wide receiver, out for the season, injured in training camp,
Jeez.
and that's done.
Not even.
So I'll keep an update on injuries as we go through the season. Keep the ACL count up. We're on 3 at the moment. Minus the combine, we're on 3.
Crazy.
And we'll see how we go from there. But yeah,
Jeez.
protect them knees.
Yeah.
And as we go into the pre-season and we talk about the interesting QB battles that we're going to see, Ben, can you actually explain to us how pre-season works in the NFL?
Sure. So again, I'll just do this briefly, like we don't want to labour this too much. You can Google it if you want to. But so pre-season starting on the 4th of August this year. So in general, pre-season lasts for 4 weeks. Each team plays 4 games, essentially just exhibition games. They don't count towards anything. And it's an opportunity for teams to assess players they have and trim down their rosters. You have to go into the season with a 53-man roster. Most teams will have significantly more than that, and they'll just start cutting players or they'll start trading players that they don't think make sense. We just mentioned it, 49ers kicker situation. So it gives them 4 games for the players to prove that they should be in the roster. So it's not a big deal if you're a premium top-level player who's getting paid big money.
So Rodgers wouldn't turn up.
Rodgers is not. He might play a little bit in game 4, or they'll bring him on for like little bits and pieces, so he gets some reps with his wide receivers.
Even as newly joining the club.
Yeah, you'll play a little bit in pre-season probably. There are some teams who pretty much sit their starters completely out of pre-season. It was Sean McVay who did it the LA Rams winning season, and he started a little bit of a trend because a lot of teams were then like, well, maybe we shouldn't play our starters in if he did it because he won the Super Bowl. So it's like, a lot of teams do it because they just want to give them a chance to run out some players, but mostly it's for your less experienced players or your players who are on the fringes of the team to give them an opportunity to play their way into the team to impress the coach, basically. That's essentially it. Yeah, it's a couple of interesting battles that we can expect to see probably play out in pre-season to some degree. So 49ers, Brock Purdy, Trey Lance and Sam Darnold.
Who was that first one, sorry?
49ers?
No, who's the player?
Brock Purdy?
What's his name?
I don't know that. Mind your business.
BCB.
That one's going to be interesting because didn't they trade up in the draft a couple of years ago to get Trey Lance?
Yeah.
And then Trey Lance is meant to be their starting QB for the next 10-15 years.
Yep.
He's always gets injured, and now they drafted Sam Darnold from Carolina, and they have Brock Purdy who nearly got them to the Super Bowl. So you can't really say anyone has a nailed on position for QB1.
They're not paying any of them.
Yeah.
You've got 2 capable ones and you've got an absolute star. I wonder which one.
Wow. Sam Darnold is probably the highest paid of the 3 of them. I don't know, I haven't looked, but Sam Darnold's probably the highest paid.
Yeah, he's been
Well, it's not going to be old Mr. Irrelevant, is it?
No, he'll be on the league minimum $700,000, I think.
Yeah.
I think we spoke about that in a previous episode. So Trey Lance will be on because he came in 3rd in the draft. He'll be on a much higher salary, but he's probably not too dissimilar from Sam Darnold. But that'll be interesting. Buccaneers quarterback situation. Baker Mayfield against Kyle Trask. I've seen some warm up film recently. Neither of them hit anybody. It was bad. So I think so people always like to blow these things out of proportion because people like making fun of Baker Mayfield, but still, that's going to be pretty interesting. I think that's picking whichever one's going to be least worst.
Yeah, I mean, they used to say.
Yeah.
They used to say he had more adverts than wins.
Yeah.
So
he had a lot of ads.
Yeah, he did.
But we did have. But he had one good winning season. What did he get? Like 10 wins?
Yeah. What was that? The Browns when he got them to the playoffs.
Yeah, like a 10 win season. It's not that bad. Like.
All right, let's hear the rest of the battles.
Colts quarterbacks, like we mentioned, Hendon Hooker was brought in, but Anthony Richardson and Gardner Minshew are really, it's between the two of them. Gardner Minshew played like 1 or 2 games for the Eagles last year and was terrible.
Nice.
So that's going to be interesting. Commanders quarterbacks, we mentioned Sam Howell, but he's against Jacoby Brissett. Jacoby Brissett's quite an experienced quarterback, so we'll see how that plays out. And Patriots QBs, Mac Jones against Bailey Zappi. It's toss up. Bailey Zappi played all right in some games he played. Mac Jones has been there a lot longer.
Yeah. So. I'm Team Bailey.
Oh, you like Bailey?
Mac Jones.
Yeah. I can't stand Mac Jones.
You don't like Mac Jones?
I think he's terrible.
I think you're terrible.
What's that?
He makes a fair point. You are terrible. I was trying to throw some basketballs at you and see how many you can catch.
Wow.
Go on, some other note.
A couple other ones just to finish up. So Kyler Murray, recovering from his ACL tear, like you mentioned, could give opportunities to Colt McCoy or Clayton Tune.
No, that's not a person.
Maybe even David Blau. But I doubt
just picked up guys from the town, man. Like that. Like
Luke Kriskinen.
Their names, I know. Like you just click. Yeah, nah.
That could be interesting. Falcons, Desmond Ridder, Taylor Heineke.
Yeah, Taylor Heineke for me.
Taylor Heineke. Yeah, I like Taylor Heineke as well.
I've heard Ridder's got the starting job.
Yeah, we'll see.
Yeah.
Texas, CJ Stroud, Davis Mills, Case Keenum. CJ Stroud recently drafted. We'll see what happens there. Titans, Ryan Tannehill, Malik Willis, and Will Levis, who was recently drafted as well.
Yeah. Oh, Levis dropped.
Yeah, he dropped.
Do you know what? I don't think he dropped. I think he got sold a dream.
Yeah, that's possible. Yeah,
someone sold him a dream.
Yeah, that's tough.
Yeah.
Bryce Young and Andy Dalton at Carolina. I think Bryce Young's probably just got the starting job though.
You can't not start him, can you?
Yeah, you kind of have to.
Yeah.
Andy Dalton is not that guy. He played a little bit last season, I think, for the Colts.
He's a very capable backup though.
Yeah, he's a good backup to have. He's got experience in the room, so he's good for Bryce Young. But yeah, and 49ers kicker situation, like I said, minor one, but see how that plays out as well. They'll have to decide that in preseason.
Mm-hmm.
So this year's Mr. Irrelevant.
No, who is it?
Deshaun Johnson.
Okay.
Got drafted by the Rams. Defensive lineman.
D lineman.
Yeah. Okay.
Watch his face. He's gonna blow up the league.
Defensive rookie of the year, right there.
Can you imagine? Can you imagine?
Jeez.
Oh man.
So that's our summary of 2023 off season. We'll be getting into some other stuff in another episode of what we expect from the upcoming season. But yeah, anything else to add?
No, not for me.
Just look after your knees.
Look after your knees.
That's not catching up. Let's not do that.
Just look after your knees at the end, yeah? Just.
Hey man, I might have. Actually, I'm not even sure I have one knee. I had a bad knee and then a good knee. Now I have a worse knee and a bad knee.
I told you your body doesn't work.
You should just retire.
Talking from you. How many kidneys you got?
It doesn't matter. I don't need more than one.
You should retire from sport, man.
I thought you were going to say retire from having kidneys for a second. I was about to be like, what do you mean? Just trying to live.
Oh, pleasure, boys.
Yeah, nice one. All right, cool. We'll catch you in the next one.
All right, peace.